Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Redox here. Welcome back with another Command & Conquer Rivals video. And today we're going to be talking about Kane. And I'll show you a couple matches that I've recently played as Kane. And his ability power is Obelisk of Light, Construction Anti-Vehicle, Structure anywhere on your side of the battlefield, which can attack up to 2 tiles away. Loses health over time. So it's a great defensive structure. You can only build it on your side of the map, so it's only half of the map. So if you're trying to control some of those nuclear tiles or zones, so you can capture the nuclear missile, you're honestly going to have a good time if your enemy builds a lot of ground troops and you need a quick defense, a strong defensive tower, then Kane's tower is great for that. But if, let's say, if you build a tower without any assistance and the opponent has a lot of units surrounding a certain area, the tower will go down quick. It'll get destroyed really quick. So the tower does need some support. And that's why I didn't play a lot of Kane actually, because recently I've been doing a lot of aggressive strategies where I go straight for the enemy harvester, or I'll just try to attack my enemy units out on the map as much as I can. So when you're on an aggressive strategy, Kane is really not the choice to go into. Sometimes you can use Kane even if you're going aggressive actually, just because the Obelisk of Light is a very strong ground defense and it can quickly help you reinforce an area that's being weakened. So if your enemy is sending a lot of ground troops to a certain area, you can quickly build this tower to reinforce that area. But once again, if you build a tower by itself, it can actually go down really quick without any support from your side. So you'll need to support it as well to a certain extent. But if you can hold, the Obelisk of Light will basically reinforce and hold that area for a longer time, because your opponent is going to have to play around this. They might even have to go into air units to counter it, because obviously the only thing that the tower cannot attack is air units. So the air units are a great counter to it. And I'll show you a couple matches here. Let's take a look at this match right here, where I went as Kane and my opponent was General Solomon. And you'll see how I use the Obelisk of Tower. It works better on certain maps as well. On this map, the Obelisk of Light, sorry, does work to a good extent, because you really only need to compete for the middle nuclear missile tile zone or whatever, because there's one for one on the left hand side, one on the right hand side, each for your enemy and your own, so you can control each of them. And really, you'll be fighting for the middle one most of the time, unless your opponent goes around and takes the middle one as well. But this is a good map, relatively good map for the Obelisk Tower. But anyways, he's gonna totally destroy my Chemical Warrior right now with his anti-infantry unit. So I'm gonna build an air unit called a Venom, which is a great anti-ground unit. And his ground units actually can't do any. That anti-infantry unit specifically does not have any anti-air capabilities. And I make a mistake there by sending my Venom up on that northern tile. I should have just kept it on the ground. But the Venom is very good against infantry units. It can even take out missile troopers as well. Not by itself usually though. As you see, you need at least 2 Venoms on the missile trooper. I'm going to send out a Banshee and attack his harvesters to slow down his economy. I noticed that he has double harvesters actually. And I send out my weakened Chemical Warrior to try to help out with the missile troopers, because he's building a lot of them, knowing that I have a lot of air units right now. And he builds 1 Wolverine as well. But this Banshee on the bottom did a lot of work. That Banshee took out 2 enemy harvesters, so that was great for me. And this is when I build the Obelisk of Tower, because I have 2 weakened units, and you can see that I need to defend this middle area, right? So it's an immediate reinforcement. I still have some units on my side to reinforce the tower. Like I said, you really don't want to build a tower when the enemy is in a strong position. You really want to just build that tower when the enemy is kind of coming on to it, trying to control that area while you're still trying to control it as well. Don't build it if your enemy has like 3 units around it and you have no units to support it. he built a Titan because the Titan, once again, you can see how much damage it does. It does counter that tower very well. Because Titans they do a substantial amount of damage on ground units. So that's what the tower does. It really forces your opponent to play around that tower. So they have to build a unit just to counter that tower. And he uses a questionable ion cannon right there. It took out my unit and took out one of his weakened unit. It didn't really matter for him because his missile trooper was going to die, but he wasted a lot of gas to take out one Venom, and I don't think that was worth it. But anyways, I'm going to constantly harass his double harvesters strategy he's going for. I build another tower to reinforce, knowing that he's coming for the middle zone again. And I need something to take out his ground units. I have the air covered. And at this point, I pretty much win the game. So that's kind of how you use it. You also want to position a tower in a good area. So for this map, that would be like the ideal area to put your tower, for example. Because it will cover the, let's say he tries to take over the top zone, the top side of my map. It can also attack the top side as well, and the bottom side, and the middle side. So that's a good place to place the tower. So depending on what map you're on, you also want to place your tower carefully. So let's take a look at another match, and this one was, yeah, let's look at the one on the bottom. Let's watch this one. This one was against an opponent that was slightly higher ranked than me, but it doesn't really matter. Like, I think the rank system, I mean, you'll meet a better players as you go higher in rank, but really, at the end of the day, you could be a low-level player. You could have great skills in the game. All you need to have really is higher-level units. So if you have high-level units, you're just gonna be better than your units are just gonna be stronger than your opponent's units. As you can see, like for example, his missile trooper is level 7, mine is level 6. If you have higher level units, you're just gonna do better. Anyways, he decides to go for my harvesters, and he goes through a Tiberium patch, taking a lot of damage. He tried to sneak into my base, but because he's already weakened, my laser trooper will do okay damage on it. But I'm going to make a chemical warrior as well, because laser troopers don't do a lot against infantry. And my chemical warriors are anti-infantry units. But his anti-infantry unit is one level higher than mine. So once again, it's just going to, on a one versus one situation, it can kill my chemical warrior by itself. But I use my laser troopers to help it out. I built 2 chemical warriors now. And he builds a minigun turret to deal with my chemical warrior, and I take it down with my laser trooper. I build more laser troopers, thinking that he might go for some vehicles or air units, and he actually does. He goes for a strong anti-infantry air unit. So I'm gonna take it down with my laser trooper. I build 1 Banshee. I build an airfield myself, so I can start taking out the enemy harvesters. And Banshees are great against vehicles as well. They do a lot of damage over time. He sends out an air unit to counter my Banshee. And unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention, so my Banshee will actually take a lot of damage from his unit. And now we're just trying to control that middle nuclear missile tile, because the missile's almost ready, and of course, we want to fire it first on the enemy, on his base, or he's going to try to fire it on my base. And I'm going to just start spamming out Banshees at this point, knowing he's just going for air units. I decided to go for his Harvester again on the bottom, because I've got the control on the first missile. And he's going to send down his air units to protect his Harvesters once again, and I was not paying attention. So my Banshee took a lot of damage, and then it went down, but I reinforced it with another Banshee. He's going to go for Sandstorms, and this is when I decided, hey, I've got to go for an Obelisk tower, because I have no immediate units on the surrounding area. He's going for that middle zone, and the tower will do a lot of damage to his ground units, because he just wipes out my whole army down on the south. And I build 2 laser squads immediately to reinforce my position here. And you can see, just look at how much damage these lasers are going to do. Okay, on that Sandstorm, it's going to be like, there we go, boom. It's 3 hits on a Sandstorm. My lasers did some damage in the beginning, so 1 more laser and boom, it went down. He knows I have the tower in the middle, so he built a Titan to counter my tower, but unfortunately for him, I've got 2 lasers reinforcing my tower, and I've got a Banshee reinforcing that tower as well. So yeah, that's really what the tower does. As you guys can see, it really zones your opponent. And he's walking around it to try to, he's basically trying to snipe that tower with his Titan, but his Titan didn't make it in time. And I'm doing very well in this game. I built a 1 rock worm, which is actually very questionable. And I'm not a fan of the rock worm because they're very strong, okay, against ground units, but they have no anti-air capabilities. And he's just going for air units at this point because my obelisk tower is, he doesn't want to deal with a tower. The air units counter it. And I built 2 rock worms. See, this is what I'm saying. I don't know why I did this, but I end up building 2 rock worms while he's spamming air units. And this is really where I start losing control of the game. I honestly would have won this game, or I could have won this game if I had not built these 2 rock worms. I should have just spammed laser squads and banshees at this point. But yeah, I go for 2 rock worms, and I'm just gonna speed this game up. At this point, he gets the second missile. Let's speed this up a little bit. And now I decide to go for some laser squadrons and more banshees, realizing that okay, I've got to really counter his air units, and my rock worms are not doing anything. So I run down some laser squadrons down in the middle of the map, and I'm not sure what I'm really doing at this point. But I send 1 rock worm to the top to deal with some of his top units there, and I send 1 laser squad in the middle. I have a Banshee sitting on the rock doing nothing. So once again, I'm just playing really badly at this point. At the second half of the match here, I'm just playing awful right now. I have 1 rock worm on the bottom doing nothing, and I have 1 Banshee still. It's taking up my unit space sitting on that rock. So make sure you're microing your units as much as you can. But really, like, I'm not doing very well at this game at all. And I decide to go for his base for some reason with my rock worm. I should be, yeah. At this point, like, I'm not playing this game very well. And as you guys can see, I send 2 banshees to the top while I should be controlling the middle. And he gets the final missile. And, I mean, unfortunately, this was just me playing really badly. A game I could have won for sure. I totally controlled the early game and even the mid game. But as soon as I built those 2 rock worms and didn't really use them at all while my opponent was just building air units, plus my micromanaging was not good at all from the second half of the match. I was not paying attention. I think I started to get lazy or something. This match was very long, but this was a game I could have won, and sadly I couldn't. But yeah, anyways, as you guys saw, my whole point of the video right now is to kind of show you guys how you can use Kane's Obelisk to kind of zone your opponent. And it works better on certain maps, like I said. It might not work as well on other maps, but relatively, the tower does well on most of the maps. So you really don't have to worry too much on what, okay, is it going to work on this map or not. You just have to place it on that right area where it will cover most of the areas where your opponent may go into to control or to fight for the nuclear missile tile. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. If you guys liked it, once again, leave comments. Leave me some likes on the video as well. I'll be back with more Command & Conquer Rivals video for you guys. And I hope you guys are killing it out on the battlefield, because I am. And I'll see you guys next time.